Hey, welcome back. Uh, yeah, I just wanted to take a little bit of time to do an update. Uh, as you've noticed, some of the clips, it's fall now, so we are early November, and um, this is the end of week 7 for school. Yeah, my interpersonal communications class, I was just doing some homework a little while ago at a boba shop, and that's going really good. I actually really like it. It's been um, very informative, very lots of reflection, self-reflection in that class. A lot of the assignments, like the weekly recaps that we do, end up being a lot of yeah, just kind of like looking at myself and my communication style and my relationships and how people communicate with me. And I really like that class. It's definitely given me a lot to think about and be aware of when I'm talking with people. My word choices, my tone, um, observing other people's word choices and tone as well. Uh, I think everybody should take that class. Everybody would benefit from it. Um, but yeah, I also have my small group communications class, which has been cool. I have a small group that we do all of our assignments together. And everybody in my group is really cool. If anything, I would say that we get along too well. So like sometimes the meetings take a little bit longer, but we're all okay with it for the most part. The work that we've been turning in has been really good, and I think that we're all learning a lot from each other. 3 of us in the group have ADHD. Aside from myself, the 2 others in the group are ADHD, and so I've been learning a bit about that. They even had me take a autism quiz, and it shows that I'm mildly on the spectrum. Both of them recommended that I take the quiz a couple of times because, and I've never done one before, but just to share, they said that when I take the quiz, I'm taking the quiz from what I'm used to, which is masking, or could be masking, assuming that I am autistic a little bit. And I need to take it a couple of times to see if the scores change, because I need to be conscious of not taking it from a perspective of what I think I should do, but in response to the questions, but what my default is. And they were right, because when they brought this up, I was like partway through the first one, and I did take a little bit longer to answer because I had to self-analyze if the answers I was giving was me masking. Like, was it me answering the question, and like, what would I do in the situation? And am I answering from the perspective of this is what I think I should do, more so because of how it would affect other people or be perceived, or is it my natural reaction? So yeah, I'm gonna do it a couple more times, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It would possibly explain some things if that was the case, but that's just something that I'll get back to you later. And if anybody has any experience with that, be cool for you to share. I'd love to hear about it. And yeah, my sociology class is going great. I really like sociology, all the stuff that we touch on and learn about. It's all really relevant stuff, and a lot of things that I'd already been kind of aware of and attentive of the majority of my life, as far as like social structures and like how they positively and negatively impact so many people in the community, and like different groups in the community. And So yeah, I really like that. I've been thinking about my ADHD a lot lately, and yeah, having some conversations around it. Definitely becoming more aware of how I'm impacted as far as all the things going on in the world, or in the world, and specifically like our world here locally, nationally, and in the state. I have a lot of empathy, and it's it's hard to kind of witness and feel like I can't do anything about any of the things that are going on, like all the ICE stuff, and like I don't remember if I mentioned this in my last video, but my parents visiting from Guatemala and asking them not to go out on walks as much as they used to, or just kind of be careful, like when I'm at school and when my kids are at work. I don't want anything to happen to them. I don't want them to get picked up and taken, even though they're citizens. I've heard about a lot of stuff, both in Portland and around here. Definitely a lot more in Portland, but that doesn't mean that Vancouver's unaffected. There's been ICE staying here in some of the hotels. People find out where they're at and go protest, and there was of course fear for anything happening to them, and or anything happening to them while we're all together, or any of us, and fear of how I'm gonna react to that. I don't know how I would react, but like all that definitely affects some of, or exacerbates some of my ADHD symptoms, and specifically my executive motor function. So I think it's taken me a while. I was having this conversation recently with somebody. Taking the medication for the first time gave me a clear understanding, or a lot better understanding, of what the ADHD actually is. So like if anybody remembers or saw my first couple of videos, like I felt like I was having 20 different thoughts in my head at the same time, but that felt normal to me, so I didn't realize that until I took the medication, and then it like turned that intensity down to like 5 or so thoughts at the same time, making it easier for me to pick one and like get started, because with so many things going on in my head, it was very difficult for me to sit and pick one of those things to get started on one of those tasks. And having the medication has made that part easier. And then I think that it took me another few months to like really wrap my head around executive motor function, not being able to start on a task. I've become a lot more aware since discovering the adult ADHD that I do need the pressure of having a deadline and having a consequence, like a negative consequence, for my brain to like wake up and kick into gear to allow me to work on things. This might not even make sense for people that are neurotypical, which I'm also not even sure how I feel about those terms, but neurotypical and neurodivergent. But for now, I'm neurodivergent, and neurotypical people, that might not make sense to you. For people that have ADHD, I think that makes a lot of sense. We need that fear of like, I'm going to miss out on something and get in trouble for it. There's going to be a consequence, to get started on things. And it's just a lot more apparent now. And it is a lot more apparent that when I am stressed out about things, whether it's from like empathizing too much and like worrying about people, or worried about stuff in school, my own personal life stuff, like when I'm dysregulated. So I'm starting to understand that for somebody with ADHD, that is part of the dysregulation. Even with taking my meds, it makes it difficult for me to start a task. And yeah, it's just really interesting to have that awareness, and see how that impacts a lot of my life. I've discovered that I really like writing a lot more. I used to like it, and I knew that, but I guess it was just always hard for me to like find the time to do it and get motivated. And so, for example, like with schoolwork, when I have short essays to write or whatever, I'll try to sit and do work early, but it's like my brain does not want to help me. I feel that I'm very articulate when it comes to things, and I'm good at explaining things in ways that like other people understand pretty easily, but I can't force it. Like I can't just like turn it on. But then when I have a due date and something's happening, and I can perceive the time crunch, that wakes my brain up, and that wakes me up to being creative, being articulate, having a lot to say. And in those moments, like right prior to like having to have something ready or like have something turned in or to turn in, is when I wish I had more time. I wish I could simulate that sense of urgency anytime to make me get productive, to make my brain work. And I think that that's something that a lot of people that have ADHD have awareness of and struggle with, understand. But yeah, that's just one thing. I mean, I just wanted to share. That's like little things that I'm like kind of discovering about myself. Also, lately, like learning a bit more about what romantic relationships are like for people with ADHD. That kind of connects a lot of dots and makes a lot of sense. Having these moments and like waves of like hyper focus and like hyper awareness, and when I've been in relationships, like being super focused on my partner, and then having there be times where I'm not, because I'm focused on something else. And how stuff like that has impacted my relationships. I'm sure I seem like I'm uninterested and uninvolved sometimes, and just like wrapped up in my own stuff, which I am. But I guess it does take somebody to understand that it's not a reflection of my feelings for them. It's just how my brain works. And like the extra rejection sensitivity, and having relationship issues, and like how that can feel like a huge thing to us, like in our heads, and affect us physically as well. I think it's all really interesting. I mean, it kind of sucks in a way, because it sucks to think about how those things have like kind of ruined relationships in the past, or most definitely ruined relationships in the past. But I feel like it's good to have this awareness. I feel like it's good to know that this is something that I can share with someone else, and whoever comes along in the future, and wants to have a romantic relationship with me. I have noticed, like with some people, some of the little things that I do, like my forgetfulness, that I know irritates them. They seem a lot more accepting of it if I'm like, hey, like, just so you know, I do have ADHD, I'm neurodivergent, and like I don't always mean to be forgetful. I try to write stuff down, or you know, sometimes I'm terrible with reminders. So like if I see something and like I feel like this is something that this person could use later on, like I have to either snap a picture and send it, or like text you and like tell you about it right away, just so that I don't forget later, because I know I'm gonna forget. And or like in conversations, like sometimes I have to like interject and just get it out, but then we can get back to the conversation, because if I don't get it out right in that moment, I know that like 2 seconds later I'm gonna forget. And if I stop to like write a note or something in the middle of our conversation, I'm sure that's gonna seem terrible too. So like it's kind of a lose-lose, but I like people's reactions are a lot different when I explain that side, and that's been pretty nice. But yeah, that's just some stuff that I wanted to touch on, some stuff that I wanted to share about. I don't know if like everybody kind of thinks about that stuff, or anybody that doesn't know or hasn't been diagnosed, the experiences that you share. And yeah, so I want to keep learning about that side of it some more, because I want to make sure that I'm in a good place for when I do end up getting into another relationship. I think I want to be more intentional about making sure that I communicate all this stuff, and hopefully find somebody who's understanding about it, and maybe wants to like learn for themselves, educate themselves a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, right now just focusing on school. It's the end of the year. I'm kind of looking at some things to refocus war paint on for next year. I still want to keep it going. I still wanted to thrive and grow, and do work to help the community out. And I have noticed that I've been having a lot more conversations around community topics lately, which has been nice. I think that I've just kind of been observing everything that's been going on for the last year and a half, globally, and learning more about indigenous cultures and history. Obviously, like more about the communication styles, and like how we communicate with each other. Talking about sociology, and all that's really got me thinking a lot, my gears turning, and all the observations that I'm making with everything around me. I have been a lot more passionate about my conversations with people on certain topics, and I don't feel bad about it. I feel like I'm pretty well informed. I don't like speaking on things that I'm not informed about, and but yeah, I'll probably post some more once I get some more knowledge, learn some more, listen to some more, read some more about ADHD or neurodivergent romantic relationships, because I think that's pretty interesting. I also think that it's pretty interesting that I think that I've noticed that unconsciously neurodivergent people tend to have other neurodivergent friends. And we all have stories about how growing up, like everybody always told us that we were weird, and thought that all the things that we did were just like didn't make sense, or weird in some way, shape, or form. And to us, they seem pretty normal. There's like a lot less judgment, and it's nice. But it is interesting that we all unconsciously kind of flock together. So if you're already one of my friends that I really enjoy, or we're pretty close, maybe there's a little bit of neurodivergent in you. I don't know. But I think that's interesting for sure. So anyways, thanks for hanging out, listening. For anybody that's been watching all of my video or vlog episodes, thanks for watching them. I hope that you're learning something from them, and feel free to share, feel free to comment. I would love to get some dialogue going with people. And yeah, I hope everybody has a great weekend. I'll try to get this out today. Next week is Veterans Day. So thank a veteran. Yeah, I'm a veteran. I'm an Air Force veteran, and you know, it's a job that not everybody wants to do, and you know, obviously I didn't stay in forever, but yeah, it doesn't pay well. So thank the veterans. But okay, bye everybody.